1832 because it's inscribed on the side. It has like 1832 John P. Scales, Floyd County. I looked him up. He was a woodworker. And so guess what I had made? I had a reproduction made of the John P. Scales dulcimer. And just so you can see what it sounds like, just briefly. Sounds a little bit better, but it's still kind of tinny sounding. See, it sounds kind of tinny. I'll just leave it at that. Well, the John P. Scales dulcimer actually had the wooden friction pegs on it. I opted to have.
What if you set that on a very thick wooden table?
It'll vibrate too. I mean, like all of the dulcimers, you can set them on wooden tables, and it will really amp the sound up a little bit.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go right ahead.
That green thing on your lap, is it something rubbery or like you put in a cover or something like that to keep you solid?
It's a shelf liner.
Because I have a problem chasing this thing.
This is your friend. You just put that on your lap, and it grips your clothes, and it grips the dulcimer, and your dulcimer doesn't go shooting off. Never store this in the case with your dulcimer or against your dulcimer because it'll get tacky and it'll mess up the finish on your dulcimer. This is called a Galax style dulcimer. And you know, if you know anything about Galax and the Fiddlers Convention, you can't swing a cat without hitting 20 people that play an instrument. And this right here, this style of dulcimer is called a Galax style dulcimer. The Russell and the Melton families in Galax are the ones that came up with this. And this, it's deeper, it's really thick right here. And if you notice, it's got this second back on it. That's like having your dulcimer on a table. Not only a shite hole on a table, but then you've got a dulcimer on its own portable table too, to really make it ring. Now, dulcimers are kind of quiet instruments, and if you're playing in a band with a fiddler and banjo and guitar, nobody hears a dulcimer player. So the Melton family, to combat that issue, they built this bigger dulcimer, thicker sound box, secondary back on it, and they changed the tuning on it. Now, we're going to talk more about tuning in a little bit. But this one, all 4 strings are tuned to the exact same note.
Oh, really?
They're all D's. And you're kind of like, why would you do that? Well, if you're playing with a bunch of other instruments and you've got this kind of dulcimer, it will cut through and you'll hear it. You'll hear the ringing of it. And when I start playing this, if you kind of listen, you'll hear kind of like real high bell-like tones coming out of it, and you can really hear that when you're playing with other instruments. This is not the best chair for this, but
best chair for anything.
all right, I'm nervous, so y'all forgive me. Okay. Which I haven't in about 5 or 6 years. If I have this setting more flat like this, it really makes my head start hurting because that ringing sound.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see if you were playing with other instruments how this would be a lot louder.
What are you using?
I didn't tell you that. I'm using just a craft stick to do the notes, and this is a goose feather that I've stripped the feathery part off of. Most people around Galax use turkey quills, but when I worked at Explorer Park, we had geese. So I went following around behind the geese, and every time I dropped a feather, I grabbed their feathers up. So this is kind of a loud instrument, and it really cuts through a lot of the sound. It can sound kind of sweet too. You've got this kind of thing, from Galax. Now, there's different shaped dulcimers too. The one I had, the John Scales dulcimer, this one, you can see it's teardrop shaped, just like the one there on the front. You typically found these in Southwest Virginia. This is our own design. This is only place this kind's been found traditionally is Galax. Now, the hourglass types, there's two different kinds of hourglass.
There's one.
Yeah. Now, you notice the one he's got and this one here. You see how the sound box starts sloping here, it goes down, then it bells out? And then see this one, how it just starts belling out immediately? That can, if you're looking at traditional, like older instruments, that can tell you where they're from. When they're narrow like this at the top and come in and come out like that, this is a North Carolina design. This right here, you tend to see more towards West Virginia. Just a little fun thing. Yeah, like yours is more the North Carolina style, and yours is too.
Yeah.
You know, so you get
That's
a
where
nice
it came
little
from. Lives in North Carolina.
variation there. And just to show you a little bit of a different thing here. The only one I play with a goose feather is this one because that fretboard is up really high where this one's narrow. If you play one of these with that, you'll dig holes into the top. Which I've done that to one before I could afford to get a Galax style dulcimer. Now
What you
this,
feeling about pigs?
Picks is a real big personal preference. For a long time I used big triangular picks that were really, really flexible. And then somewhere along the line I started using these. Do you remember what these are called, Jack? Are they Herndon?
Yeah.
Herndon picks. They're three-sided, and one side is more floppy, one side's middle, and one is really stiff, so you can kind of rotate it around and find the one that you like best.
I tend to like the Madeline picks are smaller and they're real flexible.
Yeah, credit cards make really good ones.
Yeah, I've done
Now,
that.
this is about probably 4 mil. The 5 mil is the thickness that most people like playing the dulcimers with without stinging the string, so to speak. But what Kimberly just had, there are different thicknesses all the way around. All three sides, all 3 points are different thicknesses. So you can rotate the pick in order to get the sound that you want.
And I know every once in a while I'll just go to a music store and I'll just hit the picks and I'll get one of everything just to play around with it and see what the different sounds are. Yeah.
I was constantly dropping my pick, and you wouldn't believe how often it goes in the sound hole.
Oh,
And it's hard to get it out of the sound hole. And easy to go in, so these don't go in the sound holes bad. I can hold on to them better. But even then, I like that one that Kimberly has, the one that has the 3-sided.
Okay, and then this is just tuned DAD, which is probably the most common tuning these days. Just to show you what it sounds like, I'll play a little bit. You can play dulcimers different ways too. You can chord, which we're going to show you on in a little bit. But I do want to show you this, and I get nervous every time I do this, but hey, we'll see what happens.
You wrote that.
Yeah, sorry. I wrote this song and I named it Burnett's Lament. A lot was going on in my life when I wrote this, and I'd lost most of my family at that point. But my family's from Scotland, and it just made me, somehow it just makes me think of Scotland, it makes me think of my family, it makes me think of the mountains, but Burnett's Lament, that's what that was.
Thank you.